gosh. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Man, Nuggets take 2 days off. I didn't know what to do with myself.
Unbelievable.
Oh, I was going crazy. Dude, we're back, baby. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the pregame show. What are you guys doing, man? What's happening? So inappropriate.
I just
Read the room.
Man, read the room.
Why the Grizzlies?
I just thought, based on my history, you'd think it was cool.
You thought.
Kids
You
can
didn't
be
think.
watching.
That's the
Call of
problem.
Duty lobby?
We are presented as always by Bet365. Never ordinary.
Not once.
Certainly not tonight, not ordinary. And you should download the app now and use promo code DNVR whenever you do. Why? Because later on in the show, we're all going to be made rich beyond our wildest imagination.
Thank God.
Thanks to that man over there.
It's wild how I'm unable to imagine being more than $100 richer.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to be like $7 richer maximum. Maybe $7.
You know what a percentage richer $100 would make me? It's a little disappointing.
Double your wealth over here. Guys, we're going to talk about Aaron Gordon. Really got a curveball Nuggets here since we last spoke.
yeah.
We'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about Jokic, his first ever podcast appearance on Curious Mike. Very interesting. Very interesting. We're going to talk about that. And then, of course, we're also going to preview the Nuggets and the Grizzlies. To help me do that, Bill Cosby himself is here.
Oh, dude, that's tough.
It's a tough day for references.
That's. I'd like to start over. Is
All
it
right,
too late? Can we? Do you have another one off the top of your head?
Pudding in the jello.
Yep, that's me, Bill Cosby. Everyone, thank you for welcoming me into your living rooms and your home.
Over here, I got D-Line.
Yeah, I don't know that the Bill Cosby cultural reference stopped
not
at
Jell-O anymore?
stopped at pudding pops.
Yeah, it's
not?
progressive.
What is
I
it?
think it's the
Cosby
sweaters,
Show?
though. Really, it was the sweaters. That's what I was the sweaters. The pudding.
I would have gone
there something
Mr.
else?
Rogers.
All right, yeah, Mr. Rogers
that
would have
makes
been way
sense.
funnier. And then over there, Superstar Dev.
I know we're going to talk about it. I'm pissed. I wanted to see Josh shoot the ball. I wanted to see him shoot the ball. But he's not shooting today.
He's not shooting tonight, man.
It's a good thing this is the pregame show because we are
really cancelable
Yeah.
today. The Nuggets are taking on the Memphis Grizzlies, who have been on fire since Ja returned. How will they handle him tonight?
Well, they won't because Ja Morant is not going to play tonight. There's an illness, so he's out. Which is cool because most of the game notes are about how Denver would handle Ja Morant.
Yeah.
I might just read them anyway because that is
Just go
segment
for it.
one.
Was that really in Malone? Malone did not know he was out?
Well, they talked. I think the question was about what they look like since getting Ja, and I think this is a recent update. So
Yeah.
Malone probably wouldn't have known. He spoke about obviously they're 4-0 since Ja got back. The biggest concerns with him and that team are transition, but paint defense. Where Denver, he joked they don't have Dikembe Mutombo back there. Obviously, for all the good things Jokic does, he's not much of a rim protector, and a guy like John, a team like Memphis, can challenge that. And then outside of all the basketball stuff, that team has hope now, which is an important element, and that is still true. Even if he doesn't play tonight, the whole complexion of their season looks different. And then they also got Marcus Smart back, who makes winning plays. He told us Reggie was a game-time decision, but Harrison Wind has tweeted that Reggie Jackson is available.
Really? I'm
Just-
surprised by that. This
I'm
felt,
incredibly
skin lesion.
this felt like a game time decision, but he's not even here. That's what it felt like, and so I'm very surprised that he is in. Man, I will tell you this. I hope he looks better than he did the other night because he did not look like he should be playing basketball the other night.
Yeah, I agree. I strongly agree.
Not because he played poorly, because he was like walking.
No,
with,
it's
like,
tough to watch.
And you're like, man, well, you don't have to gut it out if you can't move.
And he played poorly.
And he played poorly probably because of it.
And he's like, I don't know, Adam. I know 17 assists is a lot in the G League. But
I know.
They
That guy
need me.
Pickett's right there.
They
if we
need me
him.
out here.
I'm just saying I might start the Pickett line.
Start.
Restart.
And that's really it, fellas, on game notes. We're up to speed here.
It does make it difficult, honestly, to preview this game. And I think it makes it difficult for the players to play in this game when you go into it thinking like, okay, we got to stop John Morant is such a loud player. You know, it's not like, oh, he's out, next man up. He changes the entire way they play. So you take him out now, and it's like, all right, what's the emphasis? What does this team even look like and who's playing? But nonetheless, so Denver does have a bit of a weird challenge. I hate these games where there is a star that's a late scratch. I hate them because I think it makes for a chaos game.
I agree.
That being said, Dev, what do you think is the key? Who you have your eye on?
Just, I guess, how you slow down Triple J. I don't know. It really changes a lot of things. They went from one of the worst teams in the NBA
Yeah.
to just like him being so electric and them really having hope and them going back to a contending team. Like, they're really good when he's playing. And we got to see that for the last few games. So for this to just come out of nowhere, that does have to be tough for the team to still be motivated to go out there and compete at that high level. But I do look forward to the Triple J matchup. Now I guess he's on Michael Porter Jr., so I want to see how he responds to that. He's going to take him away from the paint. That gives Tillman and Jokic one-on-one coverage, and I love the fact that they're able to do that with the spacing.
D-line, Xavier Tillman, sneaky Jokic stopper. We've talked about this a handful of times, and it's always true.
Yeah, sneaky.
Very sneaky.
Well, we'll see. I'm more curious to see what happens with the Nuggets. Like, what happens with the fact that AG is out? Like, who's going to be in? Like, this is a game that's like not about them at all. It's just really honestly about the Nuggets. Like, how are they going to be reforming themselves?
Yeah.
Who are they going to look to? Are their rhythms going to be off? Like, is Jamal going to be asked more of? Is Mike playing the 4? Like, that to me is the absolute top story because, yeah, without John Morant, this is one of the worst teams in the league, and they don't have John Morant. So ipso facto.
But it's strangely relevant, the AG absence in this game. Not strangely, just particularly right off the bat, to the point you guys were just making about Tillman and Jaren Jackson Jr. Obviously, the Nuggets are at their best with Aaron Gordon, and you hope he's okay, so I'm not even trying to go anywhere near that. But as far as games right out of the gate to have to deal with, does Mike at the 4 help them in this game with the spacing a little bit? So just something to keep an eye on, because obviously that's... we'll get to it in a second, but Jokic talked about it on Mike's show. Like, that type of defense, admittedly, is somewhat successful against them. And having Mike at the 4 instead of Aaron changed things. So interesting go right out of the gate here.
Guys, do you guys feel that? Is there a breeze in the building?
Whoa.
Is there a little
No, wait,
wind
Harrison's
coming
at
in?
Ball.
A little
Harrison's at
wind?
Ball Arena.
Oh my gosh, we have a wind chime. And it's funny because this should come
Wait,
out
is that how you deal with wind? You start shaking your shirt?
That's true. That doesn't make any
You're like
sense.
hot and mother.
You have
That's
fire
hot.
ants in there?
It's
What's
crazy.
going
You're
on?
right. That didn't make sense, did it? Wow, it's so windy in
Turned
here.
on.
You know what? That's a good point, Eli. That was not an appropriate gesture.
It's a terrible pantomime.
There's a wind chime, and it is that
Ding-a-ling-ling. That's
Peyton
the appropriate
Watson in the starting lineup for Aaron Gordon. We talked about this. We could move to the Aaron Gordon news real quick, but you just
Peyton
kind of
Watson?
move on to hold on a second. Man, you were so busy making fun of me, you didn't even hear what I said. Peyton Watson starting in the starting lineup. The AG news, in case you were under a rock, and you only get your news from the pregame show. Aaron Gordon got bit by a dog.
Dude.
On Christmas.
I'm telling you, the Nuggets and Sixers are on a collision course for each other. They're on a collision course.
Oh, Kelly Oubre.
Freak accidents you have to overcome from like your third best players and stuff. Dog bite was not on my bingo card. He's out. It sounds like he's okay, so this is not like a life-threatening thing or this or that, but is going to need some time away. I would guess, just based on my conversations, maybe we're talking like 8-9 days or something like that, but you never know. There's no date on it. But the Nuggets, we just talked about this, guys. The Nuggets have this great schedule where they need to make hay, and all of a sudden you lose your third best player or third or fourth best player. I feel like this is a really tough break.
It is a really tough break, and obviously it's a tough break for AG for non-basketball reasons. And then when it gets to basketball reasons, they just got their mojo back, it feels like, right?
Yeah.
Not just everyone on the court, but also, everyone's doing starter things together again.
Right.
And things were falling into place. I do think right now, as far as the starters for Denver to not have, like, they kind of have some options without AG. It's a little different than not having Jamal, particularly because a guy like Mike, who the spotlight is on, when Jamal's out, Mike has to scale up. And I'm one of the biggest Mike supporters in the world.
What?
Scaling up, not really his thing. But it's different when AG goes out because it's really more like Mike plays the 4 and he's more likely to get good shots. So, there's some give and take here. It's in the aggregate, in the long run, it's worse to not have them. They just got their mojo back. But I am curious tonight how the offense looks because this is one they can take in stride, if things break their way.
And the reason I really love this one, Dev, Jaren Jackson at the 4, Tillman at the 5. This is the type of matchup where Porter moving to the 4 actually should, in theory, really help. Jaren Jackson, are you going to help off Michael Porter in the corner?
Yeah, it's about the spacing, really. And it forces a guy that is a rim protector and really one of the best defenders in the league. He won Defensive Player of the Year last year, right? That's just a guy that can alter your defense or your offense and just push things together. So, if you're able to get him out of the paint, get him out of there, now you have to make a choice. You can't put Tillman on a Michael Porter Jr. So you're like kind of forcing their hand in a lot of ways. And then also back to the AG news. First off, I've never trusted dogs. Like Basset Hounds are probably the only thing that I would ever be able to rub or anything.
Is this
like
true?
That. I'm terrified of dogs in every single way, and this did not help in any way.
This did not help
whatsoever. So like, this is tough. This is tough for me too. We're all out of this.
Yeah.
All right, well, thoughts and prayers to Dev.
Yeah. Sorry you had to go through this, man.
Thanks, man.
I'm on the other side of the fence. I think dogs are better than people, and I don't know. Like this is like
You should read about wolves.
I don't want to. And frankly, being on this podcast, I've learned all I need to know. This is terrible. Like this is like of all of the freak accidents to happen, like a dog at Christmas. To me, a dog at Christmas is Snoopy, and it's the most wholesome image I can conjure.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, it's just for the Nug life always in the wings. You can never discount it. Like something weird happens every year.
It can't be eradicated, but it can be managed. We've learned to manage it.
It can be managed. It can be redefined. But my God, I'm very happy to hear that from what it sounds like, it's not going to be a massive injury.
Yeah.
But that sucks.
Yeah.
What a strange thing to happen. And right as the Nuggets got their mojo, as you were saying, like just.
If there is a silver lining, like I love that P.Watt is starting tonight. We did the round table earlier today or yesterday. I don't even remember when we did that. Yesterday. Yep. And I advocated for Peyton Watson. This is who I wanted to start. One, playing with Jokic is the best education you can get, and he's going to get extra minutes of those. But two, the reason Aaron Gordon is so integral to what you do, and where Michael Porter, Denver has to have Aaron Gordon and KCP on the floor because of what good defenders they are, and there's not really an alternate, or hasn't traditionally been an alternate to that. Peyton Watson represents the alternate.
Yep.
If you need Michael Porter not at the 3 but at the 4, and you need more perimeter defense, you play Peyton Watson. Now, they're not doing it for matchup reasons. They're doing it obviously because of this incident. But to me, this could be a silver lining. If Denver survives this and still wins most of theirs, if not all of these upcoming games, it could be a silver lining, because I actually think the starting lineup tonight with Peyton Watson at the 3 and Michael Porter at the 4, that is a tool that the Nuggets need. Not just want, but need to win a title this year. I honestly believe that. They need that lineup in some capacity. So we're going to get an extra dose of it. And I kind of expect good things from Peyton in that lineup.
Absolutely. Peyton Watson is now the guy we're looking to be the de facto replacement for Bruce Brown, not to be that backup one, but to be an unfortunate choice of words that I'm about to use, that to be that dog, like on the court. Like we want him to be that guy. Like, and you do that through building up confidence.
That's
like
rough.
You are. And what better way to imbue a young player with confidence than to put him beside Nikola Jokic, where he can be spoon-fed dunks and allowed to just be a defensive dog, and just like go for it. So I love it too. This specific matchup is great because like it feels like it's a little bit of you get to experiment a little bit because you're going against a team who's also down.
What a huge jump for Peyton, though. Like a guy that was like not in the lineups at all, has so much pressure going into him this year as like you have to play well this year. And then he gets to get a start. Like that is a big jump, especially with how they've been going lately. Like Justin Holiday has been their de facto starter every single time. And now they're like, hey, P-Watt, you've earned it. You've worked so hard, and now we're going to give you your opportunity. Go and, prove us right. So I think that's like a big, big story.
Yeah. Another big story, you guys. Nikola Jokic just did his first ever podcast.
Was it ours?
It was not.
Damn it.
It was the Curious Mike podcast, which is hosted by Michael Porter Jr. And apparently this took place like over a month ago.
Mike has done a 200 podcast. Has he done ours yet?
He has not, man.
Okay.
We got to get Mike on. Honestly, I got to say.
It's probably scared of me.
It was a really good interview, I thought. And even more than the interview, I love the solo part of Michael Porter afterward, where he's almost reflecting on the conversation and his time with Yoke. I just listened to it, and I was extremely happy. I'm going to start on this side because I know there's some negativity on the end over there. I'm going to start over here. What stood out to you so much about?
What are you looking at me for?
I have several takeaways, and I think
let's get to them.
About both guys. First of all, how could you want to trade Michael Porter Jr., man?
All right, you're going to do the straw man fight here. You're going to knock down a straw.
It's not a straw man. It's not a straw man. I've had this conversation with many people, but my point is actually like this is awesome. A, he got Jokic to do it, but B, it was very fun. And C, we got some insight into their relationship as teammates and how they've grown.
Yeah.
And particularly that Jokic had a lot to share with Mike over the years, and more so recently than when they started, about the process, his process, how to be great, how much he loves the game. And I thought it was really interesting to see the way that Mike was curious about those things. And you could honestly almost see Jokic's pride as Mike recalled word for word his advice back in the day of some of this stuff.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, I just like, Jokic respects that guy, and I love that they're teammates. It's a very fun story. As far as Jokic goes, I think some of these things are old news to us, but they were shown more clearly than ever before and explained more clearly than ever before in this interview. A, he loves basketball. If you've ever doubted that, fire that thing up and watch and listen more closely. That's clear as ever. But B, the process, which I do think he shied away from when he first got here, but the process and the responsibility of being great, what it means to be great, the work that goes in, but also when he talked about watching the fan reactions to them winning a title and realizing how much it meant to everyone. That is a bit of insight into Jokic we've never actually had. Like, he knows how much it means to the fans and
His purpose.
And that matters to him.
Yeah.
And that matters to him. And that's the kind of stuff I think we've always assumed about Jokic, but he's feigned, I think, indifference over the years in an effort to be left alone largely. And with Mike, he stated them very clearly in English for the first time. Like, he is committed to these things and he understands these things. And I just think that was really cool to see.
He also, when asked about retirement, said 5 to 10 years, which I loved. Minimum 5. You know, I was like, all right, cool.
I'll take it.
Maybe 10. Maybe 10 years.
He said 5, 10. I don't know. He didn't know. He was just like,
Hey,
whatever.
I'm going to take it. He could have been like, another 2 to 5 years. And be like, all right. But he said 5 to 10, so all right. All right. Bring it down now for us.
How do you know I'm going to bring it down? I don't understand what's going on.
I'm just throwing it to you
I
fairly.
think that it was great that Jokic gave Michael Porter Jr. the interview, and you could actually tell that. I think Michael Porter Jr. was a little bit nervous in it. Like, you're interviewing him for the first time. Like, this is a guy that doesn't talk. He's not open, especially to the public. And I know that he said it many times. We have these type of conversations, but it's in the locker room, and he knows the type of superstar that Jokic is. So he probably was walking on eggshells. I think there was a lot that he did not want to, touch on or ask, because that was the difference between him and Aaron Gordon. If you watch the Aaron Gordon interview, he doesn't care. They have that type of relationship that he's asking about who he's dating and all type of stuff.
Right.
But I think that this was like one that he truly did reflect on, and you got to see that after the interview. He's like, let me take a moment to like show you guys how I felt about what was said and like to give it a little bit more meaning. So I do love the fact that he was open with him. Jokic, opened up a bit, even though he didn't have to go too deep into detail. But I think it was great to just have somebody let Jokic talk. And then it was an American interview as well. He doesn't give American interviews. There's just not him. And also all English the entire time. So I love the openness.
Yeah, like for me, it was just it's cool to see another side of Jokic that he will not allow you to see. Like, you understand, like he made very clear his disdain for the media and just for the circus that is the NBA, and it's like it's stuff we know because we just like study him,
But he's never said it.
He's never said it, but it's like you understand. Like, whenever you see Jokic giving an interview, he's like saying something flat just to get it over with, or he's making a joke just to kind of move it along. This is like to see him as close to his like natural environment, like in a place where he's comfortable speaking, like without necessarily worrying too much about where it was going to go beyond that. I mean, you could tell they were both a little guarded because I think that Jokic also realized like the gravity of the fact that he's finally giving an interview in English. It was cool though. I mean, it's just like cool. Like, I like that. The part that I thought was cool is like how Mike talked about how they didn't really get along with it. They didn't know how to relate to one another early on.
Right. Yep.
And later on, they like learned to actually relate to one another. They're actually like really friends now. Like, it's what you hope. All the stuff that you hope is true and like you think might be true from outside observation, like a lot of it was just confirmed. Like, okay, yeah, cool. That's what I thought. That's
Yeah.
cool.
And the respect level from both guys, I thought was just incredible. That to me, like, we've seen MPJ rave about Jokic a handful of times now on various platforms. This was the most where you could almost feel like he just has such a deep appreciation for Jokic. And it's just so evident even in this interview and the things. And then when he recalls conversations we had, so long ago. And it's kind of like, man, you could tell that what Jokic tells him, he sort of like holds on to. And I thought that was big. But you guys all buried the lead.
Is it going to be Tijuana?
They got stuck in Tijuana one time? How has this story never come out? The Nuggets allegedly went to Tijuana during training camp.
The Nuggets, they went.
We just hit this, the two of them?
I think there was like 2 or 3 of them. That's what it made it sound.
Wow, I don't know about that. But.
Man, this is even better. And then Jokic forgot his passport and IDs and just is like at the border like, hi, I'm Nikola Jokic. I'm trying to get back to America.
That is a thing about Jokic I could have guessed. That he would be that guy on the trip. I could see that.
Incredible. How
This
do we
is
not know
this
these
is called
stories?
projection, where Brendan looks at him. He's like, I bet he's a guy who just like leaves his wallet places.
Do I say that about every human being I've ever met? No, but I do think that about Jokic. And guess what? Now I have evidence.
You're like, I
Eli.
bet he wears outside or inside slippers outside.
Oh,
They're
He's like
outdoor
out there in the-
slippers. It's like
out
you
there
never
in the
listen.
Subos.
They're outdoor slippers. God, Google them.
I love the part about feeling pressure and accepting
Me
it. When he was
too.
asking him about, Jokic, why are you so calm? Do you not feel pressure? And he's like, brother, like, I feel it. I feel the pressure. You have to, but to beat it, you have to just accept that that is what happens. And I just love that answer. Jokic is so good because everybody, when you ask them these questions, like, I don't feel any pressure, it's like bravado, this or that. And Jokic has such a simplification of everything where it's like, no, man, you feel pressure, but that's life, isn't it?
He actually
it's like, yeah, it is.
He said it's essential. He said you must have it. And
Yeah.
he says, in his opinion, if you don't feel it, you're playing the wrong sport.
Yeah.
Which again was another neon bright sign that like it's not just that he likes basketball, he loves it.
Right.
Yeah. He loves it.
And I love they both agreed that they're on a team where most guys are not that into social media, which I think is kind of cool. It is true. It also, like, Peyton Watson is. So it's kind of like Bones Highland was, Peyton Watson is. So it'll be interesting to see, like, it's not a good or bad thing to be into social media, but they did both point out that the team as a whole collectively is not. And then the last one I loved here, because it kind of confirms a theory I've had on Jokic for a long time. When I watched The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary, the thing that stood out to me was how the guy seemed to always be hyper present. Like, that was the number one thing that jumped off to me is he was always, whoever he was with, whatever it was, you could just tell he was present and not thinking about anything else. And Michael Porter told him that you're just so present.
Yeah.
You just seem to always be aware of what's going on right now and block everything else out. And I just thought that was such a fascinating insight from Michael Porter about Jokic that I also happen to share. I think it's true.
Yeah.
I agree with that. No, the presentness is really cool. Did you guys generally get the feeling? I know this is a ridiculous thing to say, and probably why Jokic doesn't do interviews. But for me, I watched that. I felt more confident that they'll get another one, and I'm actually not being flippant. Like was the way Jokic described his newfound obsessiveness with greatness and winning as a team, and when he said they've won so much together now that when they lose, Jokic is like, no way, like what just happened, And so I do think this is a guy who, when he looked at the banner with tears in his eyes, and we all got hopeful.
Yeah.
Did something click for this guy? I mean, he said as much in this interview.
No.
Love that.
By the way, really quick, I know you guys think I'm doing the shtick, but I think this is real insight into why so many people believe in Michael Porter Jr. He is interested in a lot of these things. He cares about these things. He sought Jokic's opinion on these things many years ago. And as much as he is just a bucket getter sometimes, this is a guy who A, cares about basketball, B, cares about winning, C, cares about greatness, and last of all, is far more thoughtful than we've given him credit for.
Thoughtful, and he genuinely, I know you don't want to project too much off of little things, but he does seem like a good guy. You know what I mean?
He was thoughtful.
He doesn't seem like a bad guy in any means. All right, guys, we have to get to our final segment now. Open up the Bet365 Never Ordinary app, and let's turn all of our focus attention.
Think you ever gave that guy his shoes back?
MPJ. I thought you were immediately undermine whether or not he was a good guy. The funny thing is, I think in his mind he was like, you know what?
Dad.
That's what we do, man.
The answer is probably
Made a
not.
new friend. I stole his shoes. I didn't say he's a great guy. He's a good guy. Dev, what are we betting tonight?
This is a tough one without Ja Morant. I had a lot of bets with them in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Denver comes into this game as 9-point favorites. Memphis has been playing well, but the guy that's been playing well for them is not there. Before he was playing, they were getting beat to sleep. Guess what? He's not playing. They're getting beat to sleep. I don't think this is going to be a close game. I'm going to go -9.
You're taking -9.
Absolutely. And who's going to score for them? Desmond Bain the whole time?
Yeah, I mean, he scores.
He has KCP on him.
That's a good point.
I'm going to go Denver -9. Over, under. I'm going to go
-9.
under 224. Who is going to score for Memphis? How are they going to score? I'm going to go under.
I like that one. I'll take that one with you.
I think Denver has some things going, but I don't think that Memphis is going to get a lot going. Also, this is Munder territory. Their team total over under is 108.5. I don't think they get 108.5. I'm going to go under 108.5 for Memphis.
I like that one. I'll take that one.
For Memphis side of things,
Man, it's down to 106.5.
we're still going to go under.
All right.
Still going to go under.
Thanks, Dev.
Let's go with Smart over 12. He returned to action for his first time back. Just going to go with it. Let's go with Triple J. I just found out he's a bad rebounder. I had no idea. I'm shocked. He's a big man.
He's a good
I feel like
fouler.
you have to get some rebounds. I think in this game, a few of them are just going to fall into his lap. It is going to be a little bit tough with him having to go into the perimeter. So actually, let me go points plus rebounds for Triple J. That's what I'll go. Points plus rebounds.
Okay.
Now onto Denver side of things, which you're all here for. Let's start out with KCP. I'm going to take over 1.5 3-pointers for him.
Love it.
I also like for him to get
1.5?
over. Yep. I also like for him to get over 10.5 points. I think that they're going to try to high guys on him. I think they'll put Marcus Smart on Jamal, so that gives them the Desmond Bain matchup with a lot of help side. So I think that he'll be able to score a couple of easy baskets.
Can't believe I'm taking his point. He never scores.
10.5, he does get that.
All right.
I'm going to get Jamal Murray over 2 steals.
What?
I just think that he's going to get steals in this game. I also think
Is
he's
there a
going to get.
reason why?
He's going with his gut.
All right.
He's going to go with my gut.
He's shooting from the hip.
Man, this is. All right. You've talked me into it. I'm 1.5 steals.
Just it's going to happen. I'm going to go with over 6 assists for him as well.
Okay.
Plenty of scoring opportunities. Jokic in the pick and roll. Let's just give it to him very early.
Man,
Michael Porter Jr. over 2.5 3-pointers. This is a Mike type of night.
Yeah,
Man,
dude.
it's a Mike night.
Yeah, Mike type of
dude.
night.
He's coming out. I think he's feeling good about the podcast coming
Yeah.
out.
Oh, it's
Bro,
super good.
he
Curious
probably-
Mike, yeah, Mike.
Oh,
all
man.
different kinds of Mike tonight.
Yeah.
Yep. Jokic over 12.5 rebounds against a. He's a good
I don't know,
defender,
it's
bad
tough,
rebounder.
man. Well, Jaren Jackson is. But
And Xavier Tillman's not a rebounding against Jokic.
All right,
I'm going to
all
go
right,
over.
all right.
And for the lock, I'm curious to see how Mike plays tonight.
Nice.
He just had a
Nice.
great episode with Jokic.
Yeah, he did.
And also, this is a great opportunity for him to stand out. He gets to go against somebody that's not going to want to step out on him for threes. I think he makes the points plus rebounds. Give me over 26.5 points plus rebounds.
Points plus rebounds is the number. All right, I was
That's
waiting
the
for
lock,
that. Points
okay.
plus rebounds, that's our lock. I'm not going to deny
Oh
you.
boy,
What do you got, D-Line?
man, I'm a little Mike heavy. I was just following Dev along.
Yeah,
I
we're
feel
filling Mike, baby.
well. You know what? Give me P-Watt. He's getting time in the
He probably has
starting
some points,
unit.
rebounds,
The P-Watt
assists,
3.
huh?
I'm gonna take a P-Watt 3 this night, and I might also.
P-Watt 3?
I think I might also take a P-Watt block, dude, or maybe a stock.
Dude, I can't take it because it's at negative juice now. Negative 140
well, you
for the
gotta.
three.
I'm putting mine in an
Are
irresponsible
you going
parlay.
blocks or steals and blocks?
I think man, I think I feel good about the 3.
Player blocks. I'm just going to tell you right now. Player blocks, he is 0.5 minus 185. There's no juice there. If you go steals and blocks, we're
gonna
going to
be
get that
1.5.
to 1.5. It's minus 160. They're on
All
to
right,
him.
I'm
They're
off it.
on
I'm
to
off
him.
it. I'm off it.
Can't do it.
I'm taking this 3-pointer though.
Yep, triple-double night.
How do you guys feel about Pistons money line?
Are they?
They're only up like
They're only
11.
They're only
gonna
up
blow
They're
11.
gonna blow that.
Yeah,
I don't know. Boston, when your best
the
player
fourth.
only has 2 points, it's tough to win.
They're gonna.
He has
blow that.
2.
Don't blow your load too early, man.
Derek
Save
White,
it for
yeah,
ATA
Derek
tonight.
White is 2.
Save
Derek
it for
White is-
ATA tonight if you get it. Yo,
Yeah,
triple
they
doubles
lost.
plus 135. He has not been having triple
There's
doubles lately.
I betting
I'm
on the
taking
big
it.
players is tough because there's a chance that we won't get a last stint.
Man, you guys are.
You gotta
feeling
get this
so
third
I know,
quarter.
you guys are scaring
I'm
me
just
now.
saying,
You
like
guys are
we're
scaring
betting.
me too.
We're betting. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying yes, but this to me feels a little bit like I'm a little nervous for this one.
All right, you guys want to know? Here's a galaxy brain take. This
Oh,
is
God.
almost certain to be wrong. So they're going to put Xavier Tillman on him. I think their first play, they're not going to double. Denver always goes to Yoke in the post first play. Yoke first basket?
Oh, I love
my
it, dude.
God.
Yoke first basket? It's a dumb bet. No real respectable gambler ever makes this
Put
bet.
a lot
but
of
you know
money
what?
on it. Yeah.
I kind of feel like Yoke first basket tonight. I just don't think they double. All right, that does it for us, guys. We're going to go down to the bar. We got some homies in the house. So we're going to go celebrate down at the bar as we watch this game. Do us a favor, though. Hit that like button on the way out. We'll see you on the other side.
We all silly like the mayor.